Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Wow, there is major exposing going on today. I didn't expect this. So the first article, and both of them are literally titled exposing. The first article deals with senators exposing the SEC. Remember I said this, it seemed like in January, there was a lot of movement in the United States government towards like some sort of clarity for crypto, or at least uncovering who's holding crypto back, being injurious to crypto. And here you have a little bit more of that movement. Something is happening. It says here, SEC Chair Gary Gensler came under fire from U.S. Senators J.D. Vance, Tom Tillis, Bill Hagerty, Cynthia Lummis. See, I got the name right this time. Sent SEC Chair Gary Gensler a letter regarding the recent SEC versus Debtbox case. Don't worry, it's going to tie in XRP at the end. It says, notably, the senators highlighted the effects of the SEC against Debtbox, stating, quote, the restraining order froze the defendant's personal and business assets, shut down Debtbox, and caused its native token to crash by more than 56%. And when they've taken actions like this, I've always said, like, that's very strange and doesn't seem like that should be the way that it is. You're just destroying people. It says it is unconscionable that any federal agency could operate in such an unethical and unprofessional manner, unquote. Now, this wouldn't happen to have anything to do with the rumors that Gary Gensler is on his way out one way or the other. And as he's in between those positions, he's trying to seek a higher job. By the way, I hope he doesn't get it. But they're trying to get him out of there, I think. I think they're also going to probably in the end change the SEC around because big money wants it to change. Remember, I kept telling people when the big money starts flowing, it comes into crypto like BlackRock, things change. This never happened before. And now you see it happening. It says here, the senators also opened the door to a possible review of previous SEC versus crypto cases, stating, quote, regardless of whether the commission staff deliberately misrepresented evidence or unknowingly presented false evidence or false information, this case suggests other enforcement cases brought by the commission may be deserving of scrutiny. It is difficult to maintain. So what they're saying is the SEC may have lied about a lot of things, faked a lot of things. What they've done may have been unnecessary, which means it could be undone. Could be. Doesn't mean it's going to. Just my interpretation. Have your own. It says it is difficult to maintain confidence that other cases are not predicated upon dubious evidence, questionable evidence, obfuscations, or outright misrepresentations. On January 30th, 2024, the SEC filed a motion to dismiss the charges against Debtbox. In an unusual setting, the SEC dropped the charges because they knew they were wrong, in my humble opinion. Dropped the charges rather than undergo further scrutiny in court. They knew they were wrong and the courts were coming after them. They were going to have to pay the price for it. They didn't want to do it, so they dropped it. This is after you destroyed people. Makes no sense, but okay. So in December 2023, the court ordered, quote, the SEC to show cause why it should not be sanctioned for making false and misleading representations to the court, unquote. Look at what's building up against the SEC. Now, wait, here we go. Here's the tie-in with XRP and Ripple. It says it is not the first time the SEC has faced scrutiny about unethical behavior. In the ongoing SEC versus Ripple case, former SEC Director Bill Hinman became the center of attention. SEC Director Hinman said Bitcoin and Ethereum were not securities in 2018. And then they have a whole section here going into the Hinman documents and the SEC ethics team. And once again, what did the senators say up here? They could take another look at other cases that have already happened. A possible review of previous SEC versus crypto cases. So now we have this article here, and this article is titled, Ripple lawyer Stuart Alderoty exposes SEC and Yellen's crypto regulatory clash. It says here, Stuart Alderoty, a senior legal figure at Ripple, has brought to light the contrasting views of the Securities and Exchange Commission and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen on regulating the crypto market cryptocurrency market. Through a series of tweets, Stuart Alderati pointed out that the SEC's characterization of the cryptocurrency market as a minor component of the global capital markets during a court case involving Coinbase. This portrayal starkly contrasts with Yellen's call to Congress urging immediate legislative action. Ooh, see that? Immediate legislative action. Now, of course, I don't see Janet Yellen as any type of ally, but the fact that there is a movement towards some sort of legislative action, I think is a good thing. At least we're moving somewhere. We're getting something done. And I think we're going to be on the winning side of history. Just my humble opinion, which, by the way, if you haven't already, please click that like button. Also, click that subscribe button. Let's continue. It says, urging immediate legislative action to fill the regulatory gaps in the cryptocurrency sector. This divergence in viewpoints underscores the ongoing debate and confusion surrounding the regulatory framework governing digital assets. The legal skirmish between Coinbase and the SEC in a Manhattan federal court further exemplifies the regulatory uncertainties plaguing the cryptocurrency industry. So a lot of exposing is getting done. The veil is getting lifted. Yeah, definitely is. So now let's move on to this article here. All right. A lot of interesting things have been taking place. Looks like Bitcoin was going up a little bit last time I saw, and it was looking good, and everything else was going up a little bit as well, just like it always does when Bitcoin is on a run. Hopefully that will last. We shall see. It says here, XRP ledger surges 400%. I had another article here about more whale purchases. The whale, see? And then you saw the price go up a little bit. The whales have been purchasing XRP, so they believe in XRP. I believe in XRP. You have this here, XRP ledger surges 400%, but this is not current. This says on-chain activity grew in Q4. Let's find out what's going on here. So it says Ripple has officially released its Q4 2023 XRP markets report, which unveils the company's view on the state of crypto markets, relevant XRP ledger and XRP related announcements and market developments over the previous quarter. According to Ripple, Q4 2023 was a historic quarter for crypto in the broader macro assets, with growth and triumphs in multiple fronts. This is also evident in an increase in on-chain activity for the XRP ledger means it's being used more good. You want more people using it. You want more entities using it. This is a good thing. On-chain activity refers to the number of and volume of transactions that take place on XRP ledger, an open source public blockchain. As stated in the report, in the past quarter, XRP ledger skyrocketed 400% in NFT growth. Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm not even familiar with NFTs on the XRPL at all. This comes as more than half of all time NFTs minted took place in Q4. Oh, so it's like this massive immediate growth. Okay. Increasing more than 400% compared to Q3. The NFT use case has continued to gain traction to date, with more than 5 million mints and more than 1 million sales, totaling nearly $10 million in sales volume. All right. So, I mean, people must be doing very well with NFTs. And I'm going to assume also there's probably an accumulation phase going on with people trying to collect rare things before the next NFT season pops off, which I think is going to be massive, major. But just my humble opinion. All right, let's move on here to another article. So this article here is titled Expert. Expert says XRP ETF will drive investment and utility, shooting up the XRP price. A prominent XRP community member has outlined a dual-pronged approach an XRP exchange-traded fund could employ to propel XRP to unparalleled price levels. On X, game designer Chad Steingraber recently expressed his views regarding the twofold strategy an XRP spot ETF could offer to stimulate price appreciation for XRP. According to him, the two prongs to a significant price increase via ETF would be through investment and utility factors. I think there's going to be a very interesting bull run whenever the next true bull run pops off. I see XRP going to $1 very quickly. I do. I could be wrong. This is not financial advice, just my humble opinion. I think XRP gets to $1 very, very quickly. And then from there, I think you're going to see a lot of volatility. a lot of volatility before it goes to $1.50. You know, there's going to be a lot of FUD, a lot of doubt. As soon as if it makes it to $1, expect the FUD to be heavy. And then I think XRP can shoot to $2. I do. I'm talking about like in the beginning of the bull run. That's not the max of what I think it can do. I'm just talking about in the beginning. Let me make that clear. OK, but I think very quickly it can go to $1. I think there's a lot of people who would jump back into XRP very quickly. I think their fires are ignited very easily. So anyway, that's how I see it going. And that's just purely off of liquidity coming into the market, liquidity flowing out of Bitcoin. Yeah, I can see that happening. So now he outlined a scenario wherein the ETF fund acquires XRP from public exchanges, locks up the XRP, and subsequently sells derivative shares to investors. According to him, this process will diminish the available supply of XRP in the market. Yeah, of course, amplifying demand and propelling the value of XRP upward. This is something that I think we've discussed here before, and I've thought about plenty of times, and I would love this scenario to happen. I really would. And I could see it happening as well. I do believe that in the future there will be an XRP ETF, although it's not something that's like a linchpin for me, like I hinge my hopes on or anything like that. Not at all. I'm focused on those banks, those big institutions, B2B, intrabank payments, things like that. But like I said, the ETF is a good sprinkles on top, and it definitely could help for sure. We need as many positive things as possible. That's how I look at it. Anything that's good, I welcome it. All right, so now let's move on here. We have a little bit more news to get through. Happy Friday to everybody. I learned that from the people on the channel. I've never heard Happy Friday before that. I learned a lot from people on this channel. So happy Friday to everybody out there, man. Shout out to everybody who's been showing love. Just a few people off the top of my head. Shout out to both Matthews. All right. We got two Matthews here that show a lot of love. Shout out to both Matthews. All right. Shout out to Laser Current. Shout out to Marky Mark. Shout out to Asti. Trying to remember everybody off the top of my head is difficult. Shout out to Old Weightlifting. Shout out to Boss Man XRP. I always say Boss Man XRP. Chris Buddy. Hey, man, shout outs to everybody, man. I appreciate you all, man. And thank you so much for supporting the channel. All right. So now that we've gotten the shout outs out of the way, I want you to have a good Friday. I want you to know that I appreciate you. Period. Like I appreciate you outright. So now let's get on to this article here. This is from Cointelegraph.com, but it's titled Crypto.com MICA talks up MICA legislation, allowing exchanges to expand across Europe. Now, this part about exchanges is not what's important to me, but you see how they say allowing them to expand across Europe. It's not just exchanges. This will have an impact on all the utility coins being able to play. This is major. This is massive. This is something that could impact XRP. This is something that can impact XLM, Algorand, all these bank coins, including Quant. You know, Quant is heavy in Europe. All these bank coins and utility coins that have taken their time to build infrastructures, relationships, partnerships across Europe over these past few years. Now the time is coming, and I'm happy that it is. This is a great time period. I don't know how long it'll take to kick in. That I don't know, but I just know that the possibilities get me excited, period. It says cryptocurrency exchanges stand to benefit from unified rules and regulations for the industry across Europe as MICA legislation comes into effect 2024. Now, listen, I'm just going to throw something out there. It's just a thought floating around in my mind. Okay. It's not based on anything except that XRP, Ripple has these relationships in Europe. Stellar has these relationships in Europe, and MICA legislation is about to bring clarity to Europe. What's the likelihood and I love the phrase, I'm not going to stop using it, flip the switch. I like that. I never used to use it in the beginning, but now when I think about networks and I think about how a network functions best, where everyone comes online at the same time, you need a bevy of companies to utilize the networks at the same time to have a maximum effect. Flip the switch encompasses all of that in a very simplistic term. That's why I like it. But anyway, what's the odds that they flip the switch on the utility of these bank coins in Europe end of 2024? Right? I mean, It's just when I hear about MICA, I just say to myself, why not? If we're going to have clarity, and I wouldn't say it could happen immediately. No, things just in this world, sometimes things don't happen like that. They make sure they drag everything out. But maybe a year later, a half a year later, a few months after MICA legislation roll out, I don't know. Maybe there's that possibility that we could get some stuff up and going over there, right? We can play over there. They can start using XRP, XLM, and Algorand, something like that. Maybe, right? I think that's a possibility. It says here the implementation of the markets and crypto assets legislation could expedite the expansion efforts of major cryptocurrency exchanges across Europe, according to Crypto.com President and Chief Operating Officer Eric Anziani. Speaking exclusively to Cointelegraph, Anziani highlighted how increased regulatory scrutiny and the, quote, fragmented, unquote, nature of European rules for the industry have made life difficult for exchanges to serve users across borders. This is going to serve the same. It's going to be the same for the crypto companies. Quote, we're looking forward to MICA. I think a lot of us are. I think Europe is a great market, but a very fragmented one. That's also key because if they're fragmented, who can provide interoperability to them? It says, if you want to play by the rules, you must comply with very different frameworks in each market, unquote. Okay, so he's talking about different fragmentation, but my mind automatically goes to siloed systems. That's just how it works with me. It says, unquote, Anziani explained. The company's chief operating officer said the Crypto.com has registered in key markets across the continent, including France, Italy, Spain, and the Netherlands. All right. So now let's move on here. We have two more articles, man. And it's been a good day. It's been a good day, in my humble opinion. I hope you had a good day. I hope everybody's showing you love out there. So now this article is titled Solana, one of the few altcoins to outperform Bitcoin this week, despite Tuesday's network outage. I don't care about a network outage. Not at all. I want them to repair things. We're still very early. All right. Solana's doing big things. They get a lot of traffic. So things are going to happen. Every company has their problems, right? Every company. You look at Tesla, look at the Cybertruck, like they have their problems. Amazon definitely had their problems. They weren't profitable for a long time. You remember those times? Everybody goes through something and they have to correct it. The good part is, how do you correct it? Learn from your mistakes, become stronger. If you can do that, then I'm okay with it. I'm okay with, the outcome. It says crypto analytics firm Sentiment, they've been busy lately, says it has a bullish forecast for Ethereum competitor Solana, despite the smart contract platform suffering a major outage earlier this week. On Tuesday, the Solana mainnet encountered a problem that caused the network to be offline for 5 hours, according to Solana status, a Sol tracker and explorer. Well, I'll tell you what, that's way shorter time than a lot of the banks were offline when they had problems about a year and a half ago. They were down for a long, long time. Some of them were down for days. Okay. So, yeah, it says the issue has been resolved. According to Binance, this caused crypto exchange Upbit to suspend. Okay. I don't need to know all of that. I just want to know what this good information you're talking about, how it surpassed Bitcoin. Why do they always do that? There's so many writers and people because the world has been, in my humble opinion, conditioned to like drama. People find drama exhilarating. That's why there's so much gossip everywhere, negative gossip, and people like to argue. There's this adrenaline rush. So writers and content creators now put that out front. But for somebody like me, I don't like that kind of thing. That's not for me. I just want to get straight to the point. Okay, you said that it did better than Bitcoin. Tell me about it. That's it. I don't need an adrenaline rush. I can go drive a fast car on the track if I want. If I want an adrenaline rush, go on a roller coaster for an adrenaline rush. But negativity is not it for me. If I wanted negativity, I'd go get it. But I don't want negativity. I like to live a clear life. We have short lives on this planet. We don't have time to waste on negativity. That's a waste of time. Let's get to the point. Let's get something done. Let's serve a purpose. Right? Let's grow. And none of that comes by way of negativity. Now, if we do something wrong, we can correct it and grow from that. But that has nothing to do with negativity. That's just a matter of learning. You get what I'm saying? So What is this from Daily Hodl? Usually Daily Hodl has some good articles here. I don't know who this writer is. Let me scroll up 1 second, then we'll get to that other information. Who's the writer? Rodili Jean Dolor. Okay, so I'm just going to keep that name in mind for future reference. But let's scroll down here, and finally we get to it at the middle of the page. According to Sentiment, Solana is among the few crypto assets giving higher returns than Bitcoin, the top digital asset by market cap. Quote, Solana is one of the few altcoins outperforming Bitcoin this week, surging back to $102. I did see that. Very nice. In the past 36 hours, Sol/BTC is plus 4.5%. All right. So now let's move on here because I want to squeeze this in before the end of the video. Little bit of gold news. So this article here is titled USD gold market hides massive shift. Global demand is now price sensitive. So it says gold set new all-time highs in nearly all of the world's currencies in 2023, and the yellow metal has continued to peak on many price charts in the new year. Even with this recent pullback, as central bankers have reined in the market's rate cut expectations, gold prices remain near all-time highs, holding above the $2,000 per ounce in US dollar terms. But new high watermarks for the yellow metal and any other currency, even all the other currencies at once, can't seem to add up to a catalyst for a broader market move. While it's true that gold and other commodities are denominated in USD, and the greenback, even under duress, remains unchallenged as the world's reserve currency, it's not the only currency that matters, or is it? Quote, in a rational world, those charts would be more important, unquote, said Adam Button, head of currency strategy at forexlive.com. Quote, the U.S. economy is what, 25% of global GDP? And then the U.S. dollar might be another 5 to 10% of that, which means the vast majority of commerce and value is still in non-U.S. dollar currencies. And that should be indicative of the value of gold. Button noted that in the developed world economies, and in the United States in particular, quote, investor interest is dismal, unquote. Despite new record prices continually being set in other national currencies. Quote, the reality of financial markets is that they're US dollar driven. And no matter how well you perform in domestic currencies, it doesn't seem to matter until you've done it in dollar terms. Button sees this as an inefficiency in markets. Quote, does someone in Japan look at gold in yen and FOMO because it's breaking out? They see that more as yen weakness rather than gold strength, unquote. That's interesting. He said, quote, you could say the same argument about the US dollar. We're probably at the peak of the cycle for the US dollar. In 2 years from now, if the dollar is significantly lower, will we see that as dollar weakness or gold strength? I think it's probably seen as gold strength, unquote. Let me end off with this. There is a massive movement to educate people on the value of gold in every possible way, more than just the outright value, how it's protective, how it's real money, right? How it can help you withstand different calamities in life and, geopolitical factors. It can withstand those as well. So as that's happening, there's more content creators, more article writers talking about gold. I think you'll see that change. I think a lot of people are becoming educated, just like silver. It's the same thing. I've never seen so many silver content creators before, across all mediums. So I think that silver will also benefit from this, but it will take time. But I think in the future, it'll be much different how people in the U.S. look at gold than how they do today. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.